Hey loves, my name is Iphannie and this is the Iphanniebgentle podcast. Life has been lifing lately, from balancing my classes and assignments to balancing my home life and being a mom to rebranding my business Gentle Beauty, as well as all of my extracurricular activities such as my podcast and filming my YouTube channel videos, to Chandler playing basketball on the weekends. Sometimes I think there is no way that my 24 hours is the same 24 hours that other people have, because finding time to balance everything has damn near been impossible. I was recently sent home early because I was sick, of course because of the weather, and it's just that time of year. So if my voice sounds a little out of whack, I'm so sorry in advance. Just please bear with me. Today's episode, we're going to be touching on reaching the end of a relationship and how to move on. That could be a romantic relationship or a platonic relationship, but a relationship nonetheless. Moving on is so hard. Sometimes we kind of have to force ourselves to get out of a relationship because it no longer serves us. There have been times where I held on to a friendship because we had history, and that was probably one of the dumbest things I have done. History can really hold you back. I have been friends with this person since middle school, and something about letting go of friendship that lasted that long just didn't sit right with me. However, the moment I let that friendship go, it was kind of like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. I never realized that particular relationship kept putting me in a bad space. They kept reminding me of an ex that I no longer wanted to know anything about. They kept bringing up all of their toxic ships. And because I knew how to find shit out, they wanted me to dig stuff up on this person that they were dealing with. It was just not a good look, and I had to let that shit go and move on with my life. And once I finally did, my relationships and friendships began to flourish. You never realize how much someone's negativity can impact your life and bring you down. You can't really elevate to the next level if you have all this dead weight holding you down. So just keep that in mind when you're like, oh, I want to hold on to this relationship. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. I've recently been reevaluating all of the relationships in my life. Some relationships are still solid. They've never faltered. They've never wavered. While other relationships, well, they have no longer been serving me and my purpose in life. And I have been slowly but surely moving in a different direction. Now, I don't know about you guys, but you guys remember when people used to get those emails from, like when they apply for a job, and it would be like, unfortunately, we decided to move in a different direction. I'm like, what an asshole move. But no, for real, I have been moving in a different direction, and I had to realize that life was too short to be stagnant. Even within your romantic relationships, sometimes taking a step back and thinking about how a relationship serves you, and if you guys are even on the same page or even in the same book, is needed, because people grow and change every day. What I wanted 10 years ago, I might not want today. And that is a-okay. My sweetheart and I have been together for 10 years. And when I say that motherfucker has been rocky, it's been rocky. But love keeps us together, and having frequent conversations about what each other can do better to help the other person flourish and feel heard, as well as seen within our relationship, is kind of what keeps the relationship going. But what do you do when you feel like you've kind of reached the end of the road with someone you've been with for 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Do you just say that's it and move on? Do you start limiting how much you talk to that person, kind of wean yourself off of them? Do you just cut them off and cold turkey yourself? Because that's me. I cut them off and cold turkey myself quick. I do, however, think that there's a right and a wrong way to distance yourself from a relationship. Let's be real. If you end a decade-long relationship the wrong way, it can literally cause someone to snap. Snap on you, snap in general, especially if it's out of the blue. Like if you're telling someone you want to be with them forever and then you suddenly say it's over just expect some bullshit to happen to you after. Just be prepared for it because you were asking for it, okay? So here are my do's and don'ts on ending a relationship and moving on. Do be honest. If you're dealing with someone and you are no longer willing to see a future with them for whatever reason, just be honest with them. Please don't let them think like, oh, everything is going good and it's really not. And also, please don't let the reason that you want to move on be a girl or a guy making you rethink your relationship, because the same way you get them is the same way you lose them, okay? So don't break up with them over the phone or through email or text. Sit down and have an adult conversation. Let them know where and when your feelings changed and what you want is no longer aligned with them. Let them know that too. It's a hard conversation to have, especially because there might be tears on both parts, but it is necessary. Although ending a relationship can be hard, burning bridges with people because you want to be an asshole, it is a messed up way to walk out of somebody's life. And it causes trauma. It creates a generational cycle of relationship trauma that continues to grow. Kind of like the snowball rolling down the mountain effect. By the time it hits the bottom of the mountain, it's a boulder, and the fallout from the avalanche affects hundreds of people around them. When I say hundreds of people, I mean every interaction they have from then, it's affected because of what you did. So remember that your decisions don't only affect you, they affect everyone around you. Plus, that karma hits you 10 times harder when you least expect it. Don't place blame on the other person. Let's be real, it takes two to tango and also takes two to stop. They can't make a relationship work if you don't want it to work. It's just that simple. And if you weren't aware, all relationships, whether that be romantic or platonic, are work. You can't expect that you guys are gonna just be peachy keen all the time. Just because you guys clicked from day one and everything was ice cream and cake, that doesn't mean 10, 15, 20 years down the road, it's still gonna be cake and freaking ice cream. Things change, people change, times change, and your relationship will face difficulties and misunderstandings, but it's up to both of you guys to be willing to grow and evolve within that time frame. And if you're not, that is okay. Just don't make the other person feel as though they weren't good enough and that is all their fault, because that's fucked up. Period. It's fucked up. Do realize that even if the relationship doesn't work out, there's no need to have bad blood between the two of you. Whatever that person told you in confidence does not need to be told to the world because you guys are no longer together or you guys are no longer in a relationship or friends or whatever. Ending a relationship hurts already. There's no need to pour salt on the wound, because for what? Don't stress yourself out about things you can't change. You can't go back in time and fix what was broken, so just use it as a lesson and grow from it. Do realize that sometimes the best self-care is being by your damn self. Taking time to relax your mind and rebalance yourself after ending a friendship or putting a relationship on ice can benefit the both of you. Even if they don't understand it, it's really not for them to understand. Sometimes it's all about self-care and bettering yourself to be better for your future. Don't think that because you're not for someone, you're not for anyone. Listen to that again. Listen very carefully. Don't think that because you are not for someone, that you're not for anyone. There's billions of people in the world. When you find your person, you will know and you will realize that the last situation you were in was there to teach you more about yourself and help you grow for your new person and for yourself. Do realize that some people are in your life for a reason and some are there only for a season. Some seasons may run a little longer than others, honey. They might run a little longer than others, but you just have to realize that if your season is up, you need to gracefully bow out and keep it pushing. Don't just stop talking to someone. I think that's so tacky. Ignoring phone calls and text messages doesn't make the problem go away. It actually has an adverse effect, and it causes the problem to get even bigger. Put your grown-up panties on or grown-up drawers on and handle your business like a woman or a man. Sometimes a clean break is all you need to reset your life, and dragging out the inevitable just causes more hurt. Do realize that it might not be the end of your story. It might just be a book change, or just not right now. Sometimes people need to take a break from one another, move on, circle the block in the future, and kind of learn to love and grow themselves so they can ultimately learn to love you the proper way. Sometimes the door isn't always closed. It's just cracked, just a little bit. And sometimes it's the right door. Sometimes it's the right door. It's just the wrong house, meaning that might just be your person, but they haven't learned all they needed to learn about themselves in their situations. So now you have a half-assed person when they were really meant to be a full person before you came into their lives. So once they become a full person, then your relationship will flourish and thrive and be everything you wanted it to be. But most importantly, give yourself grace and time to figure out life, because there's nothing worse than living your life for someone else instead of for yourself. So those are my do's and don'ts. Thank you so much. That is all for this episode. I want to say thank you guys for supporting me. I know I was gone for a couple weeks because your girl was sick. She was down and out. Voice was gone. It was just a mess, but I am back and better than ever. We're coming up to my 1-year anniversary of my podcast and my 2-year anniversary of my business, Gentle Beauty. Thank you guys so much who have been reaching out and asking about new products or asking about where you can shop. If you guys are interested, you can shop Gentle Beauty at www.gentlebeautyibg.com, and you can go on and snatch you up some goodies. You can sign up for my email list and you will get 10% off. I am having a 2-year anniversary sale coming up. That's on November 11th. I launched 11/11/2020, and it has been such a roller coaster, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. It feels great to be a business owner and to really put my hard work into what I want and what I envision my brand to be. And so thank you guys for all the support and everyone that has been reaching out. And yes, I'm going to have some new products soon. I'm working on some new colors for lip products and reworking some formulas because I love to improve my formulas. It's something that I actually have a lot of joy in. And so I want to say thank you for that. And yeah, that is all for this episode. Again, thank you guys so much for listening to the Iphanniebgentle podcast. I wish you nothing but a light, love, and a trauma-free future. And I will see you guys in my next episode. Coming up in the next episode, I do want to touch on jealousy within friend groups because shit has been hitting the fan, okay? So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel if you watch me on YouTube, or if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys subscribe to my podcast on Anchor, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you listen to me on Facebook, on my website, Iphanniebgentelepodcast.com. Make sure you guys subscribe, and thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode, and I will see you guys in my next one. Besitos.